Hi, it's Mitch from pickdogs.com, and it is almost halftime. About 40 seconds left to go in the first half in the Peach Bowl. Ohio State leading Georgia 28-24. The winner of this one faces the winner of this one faces TCU, and Georgia just decides to take it into the locker room right here with 40 seconds left to go in the first half. Odd choice here. They know Ohio State has no timeouts, but that's what they do. And of course, Georgia will receive the second half. TCU, easy winner in game one against Michigan, led it gavel to gavel. Never lost the lead in that game. Michigan fought back, tried to make it close several times, but it was all TCU in that one. The better team, clearly. It was men against boys in that one. But in this one, a little bit more of a competitive game. Ohio State there before the half. I think a lot of people thought, like even myself, that I thought they were maybe going for a field goal there, but instead it was a touchdown. So they enter the half here with the lead. And we'll see what the second half line is going to be in this one. That my disclaimer that I always have, my pick on the game was Ohio State. I gave it out. I had a premium pick on it, but it wasn't for individual sale. I only had it in packages. So if you caught that first halftime, I gave that out and let everybody know that I had a premium pick on Ohio State in the second half, or in Ohio State in this game, plus the points. But, I think that what we've seen is that Ohio State has bounced back. They certainly have played the aggressive football that Ryan Day is saying, but it's clear that Georgia is the much better team on the field here. And like I said, my money's on Ohio State already, but I'm going to see if I can get something here in on Georgia and maybe try and not necessarily hedge out, but maybe catch the middle, as I do believe Georgia is going to win this game. I just don't think they're going to cover the spread. But you see the Georgia running backs just feasting on this Ohio State defense. And I believe that we'll see a lot more of that in the second half, as that's when Georgia has traditionally run the football really, really well this season. So we'll see it. And here is the second half line. It's Georgia minus 6.5 for the second line. I think we take Georgia here. We lay the 6.5 in the second half. I can't see Ohio State winning this game. I could see them covering the initial spread. I just don't see them beating this Georgia team, which is clearly the better team. It was clear the first game that TCU was the far better team, and in this game, it's very clear that Georgia is the better team. We're going to be looking at a Georgia TCU national championship game. I believe that Georgia second half, though, is the pick here. I'm going to lay the 6.5 points here with the Bulldogs, and that's going to be my pick here. So, of course, would love to hear what everybody else has to say in this one. But I believe I'm in good position here with Ohio State, and for the game, as far as getting them with the spread, and I believe getting Georgia here at 6.5 puts me in a great position, because I do believe I'm going to hit both of these. So that's where I'm at. Well, don't tell me about my mistakes. Tell me what your picks are. That's what I always say. It's not about me against you or anything like that. It's us against the books. So you tell me what you're betting. And that's really what we want to hear. We want to hear your opinion of my pick. We want to hear your opinion and your pick, right? This way I can fade you. Anyways, it's a joke, right? Ohio State's not going to win this game. They're not a good team. Not good enough to win this game. They're not. Yeah, I have Buckeye 6.5 for the game as well, but I like Georgia here second half minus the 6.5 for the second half. Buckeye 6.5 for the game or for the half? Ohio State is not going to win this game. They're going to get run over in the second half. They're not going to be able to stop the Georgia running game. They haven't been able to stop it yet. Yeah, well, we're looking at the half. our game bets, we can't make those anymore. I already have the Buckeyes. I gave it out at premium pick. I gave it out for free at halftime of the TCU game where we wiped the floor with Michigan. In that one, we had TCU on the money line plus the points for the game in that one. You guys, if you watched the morning show, you saw I was the only one on TCU. Total 34. I think I'm going to go under. Jay's ready to join us. Jay, welcome back to the show. Well, who's going to take on the TCU Horned Frogs in this the championship game? Is this going to be Georgia? Is it going to be Ohio State?
It's gonna be Georgia.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the second half line is 6.5 here. Georgia minus 6.5. I think I got my perfect middle right here. I think Ohio State's going to cover the initial spread. I think Georgia covers the second half.
I agree. I think that's about how it goes too.
I see the Georgia running game just running hog wild in this game, and that is not a good sign because Georgia has an NFL secondary here. They will be able to at least slow down or clamp down on those receivers, and they've gotten heat on Stroud already, and I think Georgia wins this game. I think it's going to land. I think they're going to win by a field goal or something.
I think about the same thing. I think
3 or 4.
I think they win this second half by 7, so they end up winning the game by 3. I think that's how it goes.
I'm with you. I think Georgia wins this game by 3 or 4 points. I think an under in the second half is okay. I mean, that first game. I mean, there was a ton of scoring in the second half. This game, a little bit higher scoring. 52 points in the first half. I don't know, man. TCU just. I said this about Michigan this morning. I will say it for a whole nother full year again. Championships are not won in magazines or in papers or in the internet or anything like that. They're won on the field. And if you take away all of Michigan's non-on the field championships, they got a half of a bullshit fraud of a championship, and that's it. That's all they have. So, anyways, we got visitor here on the show.
Yeah. My guy Maverick.
Maverick's clearly on Georgia here for the second half. He's like, I'm not a Bulldog, but I know a few.
Yeah, man, it's a pretty good game we got going on here, back and forth action.
It's been a solid day of games, like these two games. The two playoff games have been really good games. They have. And it doesn't always work out that way. A lot of times these games are blowouts, but both of these games have been very, very entertaining. Michigan was unable to get to the lead against TCU. So, they just couldn't get there. They had chances, and it looked like, when they scored the touchdown to take it down under a touchdown and get it down to 6 or 3, right? They had it down to 3. And TCU came right back to their big wide receiver and went like 85 yards. And, if the field would have been 600 yards, it would have been a 600-yard touchdown. But, I thought Michigan, as outmanned as they were, they kind of fought back and, fought the good fight. There was no way they were going to win that game. I mean,
yeah, I kind of felt the same. I was thinking they're like, can they come back and win it? I don't think they got enough to do it.
Yeah, the quarterback. So it was his mother that they showed when we were watching the show, watching the game here. And, we were he mouthed to his family, we're going to win this game. It's like, you ain't winning this game. That ain't going to happen, man. Like, you're not watching the same game we're watching because you're getting your ass kicked is really what's happening here.
Yeah.
And a lot of injuries in that first game, not as many in this game, There's a few big ones here. The tight ends, both tight ends have gotten knocked around here. I didn't think the game. I thought it was a good game. I think it would have been exciting if Michigan could have got to the lead, but I just thought Jim Harbaugh's coaching was so bad, and he just was out. He just was out coached.
They shot themselves in the foot. The first 3 red zone trips, not getting any points, really hurt them in that one.
It's just what
I
also think you got to give TCU credit, man.
You do. You do.
They were seen as like, that Michigan was just gonna be able to push them around and have their way and whatever. And that was far from the case. They beat them deep, and look how many teams they beat deep this season like that and put points on. But nobody fired back over the top on them, and there was no point in the game where you're just like, oh man, Michigan's just manhandling these guys,
Or where
And
you're sitting there thinking Michigan is the clear cut better team.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way in the middle of the game. I felt that way going in. Once both teams were on the field, Michigan didn't look bigger than TCU. They didn't look necessarily like the better team. It looked like an even matchup to me, and the better team won, I think, in the end. It's just what happened. College football. Now TCU going to the big dance, man. Who would have thought?
Yeah, this morning I thought, not the beginning of the season I didn't have them, but it was they came out of a year, where they fired their head coach.
Sonny Dykes, year one.
Yep, I used to bet on his father,
Spike. So where was he at before here, and then what did his dad?
Well, he was at Sonny was at he was at a bunch of different schools, but I believe he was at Cal.
Cal last,
right, directly before this, but I think he's been at a bunch of schools. He was at, I believe he was at La Tech at one point. So he was at, he's been Sonny Dykes, La Tech, and then it was at Cal, and then TCU, then SMU, and then back to So he was he was Texas Tech wide receiver coach. So he was under Leach.
Okay.
He comes out of the whole air raid coaching tree. And I believe that they had the pirate patch on their helmets, the tribute to Leach. TCU did for the game.
Yeah, man. We've seen a good one, man. I think this one right here is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, I think this one's going to come down to the wire, but I think Georgia is going to be the better team in the end. I just think
so too.
I just think they're faster. I think they're better. I think they have better players, and I think Bennett is might be the better quarterback.
I don't know about that one now. I think I like Stroud.
I don't know.
Clear cut over Bennett, but
Bennett's one of those guys. He's just a gamer. He just makes plays. He's just fast. He can do everything.
He's also 30 years old. So.
Yeah. Well, that's how they are. That's how they are. I mean, there's been a lot of 30. There's been some Heisman Trophy winners that age.
Yeah.
Chris Wenke was, I think, 27 when he won the Heisman. 28.
Like I think they said Bennett's like the same age as like Lamar Jackson and Tua and like all those guys. It's kind of crazy to think about. I think Bennett does make it to the NFL, but he's going to be like kind of like a career backup type guy. He's going to be like the new Colt McCoy. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Georgia gets the second half kickoff here. They need to march down and get points. They need a touchdown. They got to get back to the lead, because if Ohio State goes up by 2 scores, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, Georgia needs to be able to continue to establish that run game.
So, a lot of people, probably out for New Year's celebrating. Be safe out there. Of course, it's amateur hour, so these are the nights that you, unless you must, it's a good night to stay home. But if it's your thing, go out and do it. But it's not necessarily you; it's the other guy. You gotta watch out for. It's like, did you hear about the linebacker? Iowa's grandfather went to go see him play, gets hit by a car walking across the street in Nashville. I mean, that's crazy. Terrible. That's how it is, man. I mean, I'm out there rollerblading. People they don't give a crap driving like 50 miles an hour. It's like I know your Maserati can go fast. I get it. Doesn't it's not cool. It's like they see me skate, so they zip by me like it's like they're proving a point or something. It's like, wow, so your Maserati can go faster than I can rollerblade. Well, freaking impressed. Anyways, man. Got full NFL card tomorrow, and of course we'll be going over the whole slate on the morning show with
Yes,
the gang.
sir.
I haven't put in my premium picks yet on it, so
Tomorrow's NFL card is actually really tough, in my opinion. It's one of the tougher ones I've seen this
I
year.
see a few games that I really like though.
I think I only see right now, right, like 2 games that I love. And other than that, for me, it's gonna be some. I got to still do some weeding through.
I got the Grizz in this one tonight, and they're doing their damnedest to try and make it a sweater for me, all the way down. It's
I
like
got the Grizz with you on that one, so
it's like what are we laying 6?
yeah, I got the Jazz too against the Heat. I just fade the Heat every night. So
I like the Heat. I think that they're going to be coming on. I think they're one of the teams to buy low. I think
yeah, might be time for me to stop bashing on them. But worst cover team in the NBA have covered in 35.3% of their games this season.
well, and the thing is that that most teams cover about at least 50%. So
It's about
the
time to go the
books
other way.
move the lines. So
Yeah,
got to get there. The Pistons up by 7 on the Timberwolves currently.
Timberwolves straight ass.
Oh, they're terrible, man. Without Towns, it's like they can't do anything. It's crazy because they've got a ton of other really high draft picks on that team.
Yep. Yep.
Sixers continuing to roll.
Yeah, they got down on my Thunder buddies tonight.
Yep. I only had the one premium in the NBA, the Grizz. I got Ohio State in this one plus the points.
Yeah, I didn't have no action in this one for me today. This ball game, I had the other 2. This one was tough.
I had TCU and got Ohio State here.
Baylor and not Baylor, Alabama and Michigan for me.
Michigan.
Michigan.
It's one thing, you're fading the Heat, but you took a team that lost 5 straight bowl games, against against the Big 12,
Against my Texas team,
yeah.
Right?
And they lost 5 bowl games in a row,
Yeah. I thought this was their year, man. I thought this was their year.
Last year they got rung up in the playoffs worse than this year. So they were a little bit closer this year, but how about that at the end of the game, like the targeting call, and it's like I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it, man. I was waiting for it. I thought it was targeting. I also thought it was an illegal forward pass. Like the whole play was like an illegal,
Yeah.
They didn't call it, so I think that had something to do with it.
Bang bang play, so
Ryan Seacrest in Times Square. I used to live in New York, and I've gone to New Year's Eve in Times Square twice. Both times I said the same thing, never again. The first time I said never again, and then I went back and did it one more time, and there's nothing fun about it. The second time it just rained the whole time.
It was
terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, I could see that being terrible.
It was. I don't love Times Square for New Year's Eve. I'll tell you that much. Now it's a little nicer than it used to be. They kind of have a little bit more organized. But it's like the first time there was so much champagne popping and everything I had in my eyes. I never even saw the ball drop. I was standing right there. I just couldn't see it. Second time I knew better. I wore my glasses, so I blocked the champagne from hitting me in the eyes.
What's up, bro?
He's ready, man. He wants to go out.
Let's see.
He wants some cheese and he wants to go out. Like, let's have one of those bully sticks.
I'm finna go outside in a minute, but
It's like some bully sticks, a couple dog biscuits, maybe maybe a begging strip or two, pig
right.
ear. It's like my dog's got the whole treat drawer organized.
Yeah.
The
See,
vet
I got
gets
me
so
some
mad.
treats in there too.
The vet gets so mad. He's like, "Oh man, dog's just gaining weight. Gotta lose weight." He's not that heavy though. I don't think.
Yeah. Love
All
fur
right,
babies.
need the Grizz score here. Stop the game. Just stop it. Stop the game. They're up by 7. They have not really been able to extend the lead past 9 in this game. It has been, they've dominated. They've never been out of the lead. Maybe for like a second, like right before the half, they got out of the lead by 1 point, and then they ended up were leading by 3 at the half. But I don't know what the hell they're doing. Here's our chance.
It's the Pelicans. I mean, I knew this. I got the Grizzlies in that one, but I knew it was going to be a sweat. I mean, the Pelicans have won, what, 5 straight?
Yeah, it's really turning into a rivalry this series, but the home team has won every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And the Grizz is one of the best home teams in the NBA. I think they're actually tied for the best home team in the NBA this far this season. No,
The
they're
line
second.
in the Panthers
right
game isn't 4. The line in the Niners game isn't 4.5. The Eagles game isn't 6.5. And the total on Monday night isn't 49.5. We don't do teasers. Teasers are for idiots, suckers. It's like, if you don't like the spread, take the other team. This way you get the full payout. The reason why the teaser slips are right next to the cashier in every casino and are very bright colored slips of paper is because the books want you to see them and want you to do them. Hey, what's this? Oh, I get 6 points. That's easy. 7 points. That's easy. That's what the books want you to think. It's like all it is. And then if you do hit, you jump through the hoops to actually hit it. Then you get a reduced payout. Just take the other side. If you're afraid to lay the points, then it's a bad bet. Take the other side. Really, that's what it is. The line in the Panthers game is 4. It's like, this is betting 101 at the craps table, right? And on play craps, what's the biggest space on that they give you to place bets at the craps table? The field, right? It's the worst bet on the table. So they give it this giant space. It pays even money. It's like, it's not 50-50, even though there's a million numbers there. The combinations on 5, 6, 7, and 8 are greater. Those 4 numbers, the ones that they don't have on the field, those combinations are greater than all those other numbers combined, a lot greater. And you only get 50-50 on those on that. While like if I just lay a 6 or an 8, or which I don't even play those, but if you lay, if you just take like a 4 or 5 or some of those other field numbers and just place those individually, you get odds on that. So it's like, that's why I love the 4 and the 10 and the 5 and the 9. Yep, the field. Well, they make it gigantic, man. They make it the biggest piece of real estate because that's how they make their most money. That's how they make the money. I mean, I do come bets with full odds, and then I place them after they come down. I place them, and then I continue. I have like a whole thing I go through.
Yeah, man. You pay so much vig and all that, man. When you hit, you want to maximize your profits.
You gotta always be maximizing the profit. Always.
So sometimes doing teasers and stuff, you're just shortchanging yourself. Is really all you're doing.
Yep, you have to just suck it up. A lot of people, it plays to people that are afraid to take the underdog. That's basically what it is. It's like, I'm afraid to take the underdog, so I'll lay less points.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say. I place a couple teasers every now and then, but
I never do them. Never.
Yeah, for me, it'll be like a 2-team teaser, something like that. Nothing, just something usually like that. No.
I'll do like a $200 18 parlay for like 15 grand. Like, it's like that's my bet like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
Georgia's got the ball on the 29-yard line here. They've received the second half kickoff. Bennett hands it off to McIntosh. Wow, they push him forward. Somehow a 0-yard gain becomes 5. This guy has absolutely gouged Ohio State, man. He's got two carries had to be 150 yards. Well, the touchdown that he had, and then the one that should have been a touchdown. I mean, he is basically untouched. So the Grizz are now up by double digits. We need them to extend. I never buy points. Never. I'll play a money line favorite occasionally, like minus up to like minus 130. In baseball, maybe is a little different story, but like on a point spread sport, never. I'd rather take the other team, or I'd just leave it out.
Yeah.
But if you think I want, the books it's like you go there and those teaser cards, like at MGM or Caesars or whatever, they're bright yellow, bright red, bright green, and they're right next to the cashier, kind of like the M&Ms at Walmart, man. That's exactly where they're placed. Same spot, man. Same spot, right
Makes
next
sense.
to the
It makes
cashier.
a lot of sense, man.
Oh, I know. Believe me. What you think those guys? In case people don't understand how the casino and the sportsbook works, every inch of real estate in the casino is mapped out for maximum dollar. To the little place you buy the slice of pizza at, to exactly where your favorite slot machine sits, or the video poker. If that video poker machine has a value on exactly what it brings in, and that piece of real estate that it occupies, believe me, there's a whole formula that goes into putting that there. And those teasers right next to the cash register, man, right next to the free pencils, the pens, right? The pens, the pens there. Aria, it says on it, right?
Georgia 3-and-out, man.
3-and-out for Georgia. They're going to need to stop them here. Holly Rowe always gets the killer seats to these games. It's like she's been doing this a long time, man. She knows all these coaches. I wonder if she knows how to piss them off. Nick Saban eats like 2 of those little Debbie oatmeal patties every day with the cream in them. It's like put some pepper in it or something. That's what he eats for breakfast every day.
Nah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, nasty, right? I mean, they're not that bad, but for breakfast, like 2 of them every single day.
Yeah.
Eats 2 of those little Debbie oatmeal patties with the cream.
What's up, bro?
That can't be good for you. Ohio State with a long pass play here by Stroud. Maybe the Buckeyes are in business here, I don't know. Georgia's going to have to come up with a play.
Stroud, man. I like this guy.
Of the quarterbacks that are coming out, I think that he might be the best. But
he's my second favorite. My favorite is still Bryce Young. But Stroud, he's growing on me.
It's always interesting to see how the Bama players do when they don't have all of the best players on their team. In college football, it's a little different because there's a disparity, between teams and players and talent levels because of recruiting. The NFL, it's a little different. There's a nice run for Ohio State, who has a depleted backfield here. But this guy looks banged up. The Grizz maintaining an 11-point lead here, and Zion Williamson steps out of bounds. He's got like size 37 feet, so he's probably just standing around the middle of the lane.
So is the Fiesta Bowl no longer the Tostitos Fiesta?
No, it's the VRBO Fiesta Bowl.
What kind of sense does that make? I always thought that like Tostitos like owned like the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh no, this sponsoring of bowls is only like maybe 20 years old. They used to not have any names at all. They used to have no names. So like, if you look at yikes, knocked everything over. But if you look at this one, this is the 1988 Orange Bowl. There's no sponsorship at all.
Just the Orange Bowl?
Yeah.
So what is the Orange Bowl now?
I don't know. Capital One.
Capital One Orange Bowl. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but this one, the 1995, was the FedEx Orange Bowl. This is the book I had this morning that I was showing. But this one
It's just the Orange Bowl.
This is the 88 Orange Bowl. And when you look at this one, and you look at the Canes from this one, when they show the team pictures, if you go every single line like of the Canes pictures in this book, there's a Hall of Famer, an NFL Hall of Famer on every single line, like of players, and the most there's two. It's crazy. Here's your guy right here, Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin, the playmaker.
Right there. He was awesome at Miami. Here's Bobby Harden. I used to sit with his father at the games right there. Bobby was awesome. His father would just yell the entire time, man. Hit him, Bobby, hit him. Hit him. It's like he's not on the field. Hit him. So Bobby was drafted by the Jets, but by the time he got there, he was like so beat up. Ohio State knocking on the door here. They're on the 10-yard line, 3rd and 2. Stroud rolls out. He hits the receiver. It's an Ohio State touchdown, 35-24. So Bobby used to hit the guy so hard he would knock himself unconscious. So, like, by the time he got to NFL, he was just damaged goods. He was a 3rd-round pick by the Jets.
Sheesh. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Here's Benny Blades, man. He was number 3 overall draft pick by Detroit Lions. He was Hall of Famer. They used to call that secondary Benny and the Jets.
Y'all kill me.
Here's our coach right here, man. Jimmy Johnson. We had a killer coaching staff.
Jimmy the GOAT, man.
Yep. You see, all these guys were Cowboys coaches. Every one of them. Here's Dave Campo. He was an assistant on the team. He went on to be Cowboys head coach. Dave Campo. Here's Butch Davis. He was the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys in those glory years. Dave Wannstedt. He went on to be head coach. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up. I wish everybody a happy new year. And I don't know. I think we got a lot of football here left.
I do too.
I think we can. So 3-game rundown for Jay tomorrow to kick off the new year. Just 3 games. They're all at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
So should be an interesting one. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning night. And,
see y'all in the morning.
all the mistakes you made in 2022. Let's leave them there, man. Let's get a fresh start.